Hello everyone, welcome to today's News Starter series. The idea behind the News Starter series is to provide you with complete information about prelims examination, mains examination, and the interview also when you are discussing about the current affairs. So instead of depending on any particular compilation of current affairs, the idea is that the student themselves should be completely aware of the current affairs because in the recent times a lot of changes are there in the examination which clearly looks that the UPSC want people to get complete information about the current affairs on their own. So the idea is that you should be aware of the news, you should be analyzing the news completely on your own. So let's start with the news starter for today. Some of the important topics were there in news today are Chardham Highway project, which have been in news regularly, but today we will see what are the important points you should see from prelims perspective. Then about the veto power of the president, need for sexual education among the children, very important topic for mains examination. Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya Karyakram, important for prelims as well as mains. Women's Reservation Bill 2023. So when we discuss about the Chardham Highway project, one thing you need to know what are the important places. So four important places are there: Badrinath, Kedarnath, Gangotri, and Yamunotri. Mostly you will not be getting any questions about this, most probably, because it's a well-known fact. So usually UPSC avoid such things which are very well known for almost everyone. But the thing is, you need to know all these places comes under the Chardham project. Try to learn about the project and the places a little bit. In detail, you don't have to know. So the idea behind this project is for tourism purpose. Because the Chardham Yatra is something which is taken over by thousands of people every year. So the government want to increase tourism, provide better infrastructure for the people, for the tourists. And that is the reason they have come up with 825 kilometer of Chardham Yatra all-weather road construction. The point is, in Silkyara, when the tunnel was getting constructed, the tunnel got destroyed and around 41 people got trapped. Recently, those people were rescued also. But when we talk about it, there is a environmental angle which we should be considering, which is extremely important. Two things are important. One, the strategic angle. Second one, the environment angle. Strategic angle because this comes in Uttarakhand, and Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh have a border with China. In case of any future conflict, we need better infrastructure in this place. And this is one of the reasons why the government is taking a lot of effort in building better infrastructure here. So feeder roads are constructed, which will connect the Indo-China border with the army camps. Where are the important army camps? They are in two places. One is Dehradun and second one is Meerut. In these two places, we have India's missiles being stored. So this is the reason this point is important. Second, about the environment angle, in Uttarakhand, in this region which we are talking about, a lot of endangered species are there who comes under problem because of a lot of infrastructure projects. Some of the names and their status is very important for prelims. One thing is Khalij pheasant, which is a bird. It comes under Schedule 1. Schedule 1 means highly protected species. Second one, tragopans, and then some vultures are also there. All these species comes under Schedule 1. And golden mahshir. Golden mahshir is a fish which is highly endangered in nature. So there will not be any direct questions. I have already mentioned direct questions will not come, but indirect questions will come. This is why we need to know about the environment angle also. Second one, about the veto power of the governor. The governors of Punjab, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala are coming under a lot of criticism because of the pendency of the bills. Bills were passed by the legislature of the state, but then the governors have kept it pending. So Article 200 is the article which deals with the power of the governor with respect to passage of the bill, that is giving assent to the bills. So here the governor has certain provision. He can either pass the bill, he can withhold his assent, or he can give the bill as a recommendation for the presidents. He can keep it for presidential consideration. What are the vetoes enjoyed by the governor? One is absolute veto. Second one, suspensive. Absolute veto is there. Suspensive veto is there except on money bills. In case of money bill, it will not be there. And most important point for prelims here is pocket veto is something which is there only with the president, not with the governor. In case of pocket veto, the president can keep the bill with him for a long time without giving any assent or without rejecting it also. This power is not there with the governor. In case of money bill, he can either give assent or he can withhold his assent. He cannot have a suspensive veto. Suspensive veto means he can send the bill back to the legislature, and the legislature, if it is passed again, then the governor has to pass it. So the governor is empowered to reserve only certain bills for the consideration of the president. If the governor has sent a bill for the consideration of the president, then after that the governor does not have any role related to that bill. All the actions will be taken care by the president only. So this point is also very important. President can withhold his assent in case if there is a bill which comes to him, he can withhold his assent. But in the first instance as well as in the second instance. So this point is very, very important. This point is very important. The governor, as I told, he have suspensive veto. So he will send the bill again to the house, and if the house again pass the bill, then the governor have to give assent. But in case of president, it does not work like that. President can reject it even the second time. That means president enjoys absolute veto over state's bill. This point is also very important. The president can exercise pocket veto in respect of state legislation also, but the governor cannot. Governor may reserve the money bill for president's consideration, but the president cannot return a money bill for reconsideration of the state legislature, because money bill has to be passed or it can be rejected. There is no sending back of the money bill. So governor is very important for prelims of this year. Try to take a note of it. The need for sexual education is a topic which is very important from mains examination perspective. So recently, what happened is Calcutta High Court gave a judgment in which the High Court has told that children have a right to access sexual education and sexual and reproductive health services. This is very important from GS1 perspective and GS2 perspective also. GS1 and GS2 perspective, it is very, very important. The jury raised concern over protection of children from Sexual Offences Act. That is, the POXO Act is there at present. And here a lot of confusions are there because a lot of children will have consensual sexual acts. But then because of the presence of POXO Act, they become accused, because below 18 are considered to be children. And if someone is of 17-year or 16-year-old and get involved in sexual acts, they will also be accused. So the court has told that we should decriminalize consensual acts that involve adolescents above 16 years of age. So this point is very, very important. The court proposed duty-based approach or obligation-based approach. That means the court is telling that we should teach the student to follow certain duties, like the fundamental duties. We should have certain duties for the children also, so that they will not involve in unnecessary sexual activities which can cause problems. So duties such as protection of bodily integrity, dignity, self-worth, etc. can be framed. The court also pointed towards the need for fostering a conducive atmosphere at home. So at home, the children should be in an environment where they can discuss anything with the parents, where parents are friendly towards educating the children about the sexual health and well-being. So these things are told by the court. Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya Karyakram is an important scheme which talks about adolescents. So you should be knowing about it in this particular context. So it talks about the adolescent health and well-being. Who are all implementing it? Two important agencies. One is uh, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and then United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA. So these two people are implementing it. They developed a national adolescent health strategy also. So what are the important points? You can just go through it. First one, reduce the prevalence of malnutrition, prevention of anemia, and then improve knowledge, attitude, behavior, etc. Take care of the mental health of the student. Focus on the age group of 10 to 14 years and 15 to 19 years. So these are very important. Women's reservation bill has become very important in the recent times. Basic features about the act you should be knowing. One thing, it reserves 1/3 of all seat for women in Lok Sabha. 1/3 of the seats is very, very important. In Lok Sabha, State Legislative Assembly of National Capital Territory of Delhi also. This point is important because in prelims you may get questions like this where they will tell it is applicable to all the states except Delhi. Then that statement is wrong. They will also apply to the seats of SC, ST which are reserved. For SC and ST we have reserved seats. Even there, 1/3 should be given to the women. This is important. The reservation will be effective after the census. So for now, it is not getting implemented. We will have to complete the census first. Last time the census was conducted in 2011. So this point is very, very important. Last time the census was conducted in 2011, and after that the census was not conducted yet. So first we will have to conduct the census, and after that we will have to take care of it. Seats reserved for women will be on rotational basis. That means whatever seats are getting reserved this time may not be reserved the next time also. For the next time, the seats will be on rotational basis. Some important points you should be knowing from mains examination perspective. First point, which you can use in your GS1 paper, in GS2 paper, whenever you are getting anything related to caste-based discrimination or promoting social empowerment, etc., you can tell that as an example or a case study. You can mention the Tamil Nadu government has initiated a special committee by Justice K. Chandru, whose task is to recommend to remove discrimination based on caste and community in schools and colleges. A very important value addition point. Second one, when we talk about reservation for women, why do we need reservation for women? Because even in the 17th Lok Sabha, you can see only 15% of the total members were women. All the other were men. And worst, the women on average constitute just 9% of the total members of state legislative assembly. So this point is also very, very important. Some important points to note down from prelims examination perspective. There is a important wildlife sanctuary in Rajasthan called as Sajjangarh Wildlife Sanctuary. You need to know about this particular sanctuary because in today's newspaper there was a news about Lantana camara. Lantana camara is a perennial shrub which is considered to be very invasive in nature, which should not be grown in the country. The reason being, in this flower, there is a lot of toxic substance in its foliage and its fruits also. When wildlife start to have these leaves and their berries or their fruits, they will die. So this particular point is very important. In prelims, we always see they will ask about certain flora or fauna. So Lantana camara is very important for this year's examination. Rat hole mining is very important because recently when the people, 41 people were trapped in Silkiara tunnel, it was with rat hole mining they went and rescued. So rat hole mining means mining which is done in the shape of a small rat hole. So digging tunnels 34 feet deep, barely allowing the workers to crawl. The space in the tunnel will be very small. It will be a small hole. It is called as a rat hole because you can't even stand there. You will have to crawl inside. So that kind of mining is called as rat hole mining. It is illegal in India. In several places, it has been completely banned. Paris Club was in news because of the Sri Lanka's debt issue. Paris Club means all the creditor countries, mostly the rich countries of Europe. They have formed a group among themselves, which they call as the Paris Club. The focus for this group is if any country, any debtor country, is not able to repay the debt, like Sri Lanka, then this Paris Club will come together and then they form an agreement. They will devise a plan so that the debtor country do not have to struggle much, and even the creditors will get some money out of it. So that's all for today. All the best. Let's see tomorrow.